Joining me on the news to discuss this further is the CEO, Asheer Investment, Muktar Mohammed. It's good to have you on the news, Muktar. Why has the Nigerian Senate chosen this time to probe the administration of former President Muhammad Buhari, specifically for the 30 trillion naira ways and means advances from the CBN at this time?
Well, I don't know why they have to do that, but I'm not excited about it, Felicity. Probe, it doesn't get anywhere. Maybe they will prove me wrong at the end of the day. And the current Senate president, remember the NDDC probe, Mr. Minister, off your mic and that. So I don't think anything is going to come out of it. We are not on round of another jamboree. They don't need to set up a committee. All they needed was the data from the CBN and the Ministry of Finance, and we'll know where we are. So I'm not excited when it comes to proving Nigeria. It's almost like a political witch hunt. It's almost like a way of trying to cover the government lack of creativity ideas in dealing with the economy, trying to pass the buck that, we are not able to deal with inflation because we have 30 trillion ways and means. And the finance minister is already towing that line already. So I'm not excited when it comes to investigations because at the end of the day, I'm not seeing any proof in this country that I've seen the light of day and they have implemented most of the reports.
I mean, what if they shock you? What if they shock you? Because the situation in the country is dire at the moment, and they are saying the reason behind this search for, information is to understand why we have the current crisis. Everybody wants to know, what if they shock you? What kind of response would you expect from such a committee?
Well, Felicity, when you look at the committee, is it the committee that's solely responsible for why we are where we are today? Definitely they are part of it. They also, the current administration are also part of it because of some of the decisions they take hastily. And so those decisions have a snowball effect on Nigeria. So it's not just the ways and the means. The same anchor borrowing scheme today was being praised by the governor of Ogun State, Akpabio, saying that farmers in Ogun State have really enjoyed the privilege through the anchor borrowing scheme. So I keep saying that when you see policies, not all policies that are bad, but maybe you need to reject it. And therefore, for me, they need to shock me by coming up with anything different from what we've already heard from the finance minister that said the 30 trillion pumped into the economy is responsible for the high inflationary pressure, and most of these funds that were supposed to use for means most have gone into corrupt deposits that went in search of getting more effect. So they know the people that they deal with on all this. So for me, that's why I say it's a jamboree. We don't need to make drama of what we are doing, set up a committee, Senate President giving speech. I don't think it calls for that. If we are really sincere, what we want to do,
okay, let's seek a little more education then and ask you what specific economic and budgetary implications are associated with the 30 trillion naira ways and means advances. Do you have an idea?
Well, we need to look at what ways and means is a sum of borrowing that the government borrowed to meet up through the CBN. But this borrowing is supposed to be, I think, about 10%. But what we saw during the Buhari administration, it went way, way above that. And again, what people are really concerned from investigations that have been carried out by the CBN instead, that's what I'm saying, it's just like more or less going through the same route again. And that this money were printed. They were not using the productive sector of the economy. They were actually used in a sector that did not add value to the economy. And in turn, we have so much money in circulation, and some of this money find themselves chasing the dollar. They are responsible for the high volatility we see in the exchange rate. So those are what they are trying to ascertain how true those are. But again, the CBN have already given us a means to say this. So it has a negative impact on the economy. It's responsible for the inflationary pressure, and at least maybe about 50% responsible for the high exchange rate volatility we are currently experiencing as a nation.
You don't seem to have a lot of faith in this probe that the Senate has instituted, but there is a background to it, and that is the hunger and economic hardship. What would be your advice to the Senate? Really, what should they be focusing on if they truly want to get to the root of why we are where we are today?
Yes, Felicity, I think they should be focusing about what this money was used for, who was involved, and if those money were actually used for what they were meant to be used for. And how, I mean, who are the people that collected this money, if I thought this money were not used, and then hand over those people to the security agency. That's when I will be excited, because I can tell you, you may have these ways and means come up, then they set up another committee to look into the report of the committee and another committee. So I'm not really excited, but I'll be excited if they really are going to look at it thoroughly and then come up with culprits. We know they are culprits. We know people, and some of this money have been used for corruption, corrupt them. And they've also, we need to look at who did this and why they did what they did and try to recover some of these funds. And also because these funds also were produced without economic backing, and they are responsible for what. And so some of those people that are more than done that should be treated as an economic saboteur. And that's what it's only when they do that and I see that they are going after the corporate and they are making public statements in terms of getting the not public statement of crucifying them, saying they actually are the ones that have destroyed the Nigerian economy. But until they take those public statements to prosecute them, let the court of jurisdiction gives a judgment of them, I will still be very, very concerned, and I'm not optimistic about it.
Muktar, let's keep hope alive. I mean, they can still shock us. I'm hopeful. Thank you very much, as always, for speaking with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.